So kind of transitioning to another topic, Richard, do you see, so looking specifically at Sarasota and Manatee, and obviously you guys service that market and have policies and insureds there. What, are there some differences that you guys, like for example, are there norms that you have in Tampa that you can't apply down there? Or what are some of the different things from an insurance perspective that people have to pay attention to in Sarasota and Manatee that you don't necessarily have to in most of Tampa?
Well, one of the first questions that always comes up in Sarasota and Manatee, which I kind of find unusual because it's not really that different from Hillsborough and areas up here, but it seems like flood insurance is always the first thing on everybody's mind down there. Even in the condo and in the townhouse markets, everybody's always coming up and the first question they have is, what about flood insurance? So, honestly, it's not that much different from the Hillsborough market, but we still want to check them out and make sure that they're not in the active flood zones. Like you mentioned just a few moments ago, we do run into a lot more condos, a lot more townhomes, and one of the things that we see quite a bit of in the insurance world, there's a distinction between a condo and a townhouse. It's a real simple distinction. A condo has a master policy that covers the outside of the unit that's owned by the condo association. So all you have to insure is the inside. But lately we've been seeing a lot of townhouses that also have a master policy. And if you run into that situation, insurance companies get a little bit squirrely on that particular situation, primarily because there's no guarantee, there's no law in place that says a townhouse association has to keep that policy in place. As opposed to a condo association, they have to keep that policy in place. So the townhouse association can decide, they can wake up one morning and decide, you know what, we don't want to keep this policy in place anymore, it's too expensive, we're tired of messing around with it, so we're just going to cancel this policy. And now we have all types of properties out there that are not properly insured because they don't have the exterior of the home insured, and we've got to scramble real quickly and go back and rewrite those policies. So that's something that we see on a pretty regular basis down there in Sarasota. So you need to ask, if you're looking at something down there, is there a master policy which covers the outside of the building? Am I only required to insure the inside of the building? And if that's the case, then let us know about that and we can write the proper policy. If it's a townhouse community as opposed to a condo community, meaning there's a homeowners association as opposed to a condo association, you need to let us know about that also, because we need to make sure we have it with the right insurance company so that if you have a claim, they're going to pay for it.
And kind of on that same token, a lot of times people misunderstand the difference between a townhome and condo. We've talked about it a few times on the show. Townhome, you own the land underneath.
Right.
You own your walls and all that. A condo, you don't.
Right.
And one simple way to know, because a lot of times a condo will look like a townhome and a townhome will look like a condo, or a condo has a garage. One really simple way to determine that is in the legal description. If the legal description says lot or block in the legal description, it's going to be a townhome. If it says an undivided interest in common elements or something about common elements, it's going to end up being a condo. So
right, exactly.
Very simple way to determine that just by reading the legal description. So we're going to be back. We're going to talk about common real estate scams after a quick break here on the Duncan Duo Show.